All right, guys, so I finally had a chance to get to the theater and see John Wick. And as you can expect, it did not disappoint. It was incredible. My theater was screaming. We were making noises. It felt like old school movie watching. Everybody was engaged. We were jumping out of our seats. I mean, it was hilarious. It was actually hilarious. I wish all movie going felt like that scenario, watching that movie together. There was even one girl in the theater. I don't think she ever watched an action show in her life, because every time something happened, and P.S. something happened every 4.2 seconds, she was like, "Wah!" And we were laughing. I was like, is she put in here on purpose? Because that can't be real. But that's how good the movie was. It was funny. We laughed. We screamed. John Wick, Keanu is still napping right now. He stopped filming that film a year ago, and he has not gotten out of his bed yet. That is how much action is included in this movie. I'm not even kidding. From the second that movie is open, he is running. He is running from scene one, second one. That boy kicked off the movie running. That is how this movie is the whole entire time. This guy is just fighting. And, you know, it kind of was so funny to me, because to be honest with you, I forgot that it was an extension from the last movie. So I was sitting there and I was like, why is he already bleeding from the first scene, first moment that the story opens up? I was like, why is he bleeding? And then my cousin leans over to me and she was like, because this is the night before, this is the continuation. And I was like, oh my God, that's right. And then you're in for a ride of your life. I mean, the amount of glass that they broke, the amount of heads that got slammed into glass for John Wick. I would love to know the glass bill. That's what I want to know. It's like, what do you want to know about a movie? I want to know their glass bill, the glass total, the budget for glass. The only thing I want to know. I don't want to know how much Keanu made. I don't want to know how much the final budget is for how many tickets they sold at the end of the ride. I want to know what the glass budget was for John Wick, because there were shards and shattered glass in every single scene. And after you see this video and you go and watch this movie, I want you to take notice of the glass, because it was out of control. I was like, now they're just doing it to mock me. Like, I was like, now they're just mocking the audience with the amount of glass that they are breaking. They're just breaking glass for the heck of it. I'm waiting for people to just drink water and then just break the glass on their forehead, because we have a quota to fill every second. But that's what was happening. Halle Berry, she's a vampire. I don't even understand how beautiful she is. She's in her 50s. She's not in her 50s. She has found a time machine. She looks absolutely incredible. Her dogs legit steal the show. I mean, my cousin was like leaning over to me. She was like, and I'm getting a German Shepherd. And I was like, apparently I need two, because I don't feel safe now that I don't have one. They were so great. They must be like cop dogs or something. They were really well trained. Watching them fight, I mean, they were part of many fight scenes, and it was really meticulously well done. Other thing that I want to talk about is there were some empty strings left undone. And Halle Berry's storyline is one of them. We go on this journey with her, and, you know, she does a couple of things. This is a spoiler-free review. I don't really want to say much more about that. And then we sort of leave off. We leave off some really big questions. I thought at one point at the end of the movie we would turn back around and finish that story. There were, you know, some bosses that I thought we would head back to, and we never hear from them again, which of course leads me to assume that storyline will pick up again in the next movie. But I thought that was really odd. I almost felt like they had filmed the end of those storylines and they decided to just remove it, because it couldn't have been that they finished this movie and forgot about that whole pillar. And that's actually what it felt like. I walked out and I said, wait a minute. What about all that was happening over here? How come we're not even talking about that anymore? So there was a little bit of the movie that I just said to myself, how come we're not talking about what happened in Morocco? Why is all that left undone? So that was a little bit strange for me, I have to be honest with you. And again, when you go there, I know that you will also question that same idea. I just was a little confused, but I also believe it's because with the John Wick stories, it's just a simple continuation, and perhaps it just leaves us to be able to go there again the next movie. The thing I love about his fighting sequences, his fighting techniques, especially the way that he handles weapons, is they take their time with the way that he loads and unloads and manages guns. Most times, you don't really see, or maybe you do, you see a little bit of loading and unloading and you know, handling, and it's mostly just shooting in shows, movies. You don't really see much of the disarming and the handling, and I'm out and I gotta reload again and I have to load the bullets. There's not so much focus on that. But with this particular movie, they put so much attention to the way that John really understands weapons. And there was a lot of time spent on watching John handle these guns and to show you that he is an expert at this craft. And so even when he had this big gun, and I'm not an expert at this type of stuff, so I'm going to call it a shotgun. I don't know if it was a shotgun. It was a huge gun. He had a huge gun, and they had the big bullets. So is that a shotgun? I think it's a shotgun. And so normally in any movie, maybe they'll show it unloading and then him putting a bullet or two in, and then that would be the end of it. And mostly it would just be him shooting. But for the majority of that scene, they showed how seamlessly he was able to load 5 or 6 in at a time, and doing that over and over again. And after a while, you were watching that, and he was loading 7 bullets at a time in a second. And you and I could never do what he was doing, because there was another man trying to do it, and he was doing 1 at a time. So they had one guy loading it how you and I would load it. You and I would load 1 bullet at a time, and then we would just barely make it out alive. He was taking a handful of bullets and loading them in all at once. And they had the video right on the gun to show you this is not trickery. This is him actually doing this. He knows what he's doing. And so I was watching this scene, and it's in the midst of fire, and you know, everyone's shooting at him. He's running as he's doing it. He's not standing still. This is action. In the midst of action, he's taking a handful of bullets and he is throwing them in the gun, and they are landing. They are landing the way they're supposed to land, and the gun is now working as it should. And that is absolute skill. This is not something that is fake. He has learned how to do this. So his weaponry, his ability to use weapons, that's a real skill. He really has the ability to do this. Sequences also had that sort of kung fu vibe, where when someone gets hit, they're like, like they like go back like that. I like that. I don't know, I'm really into that. So I really had a great time. It's very much a movie theater movie for me. Like I said, the energy in the theater was just palpable. I mean, people were really, really into it. And so you can't get that at home. So definitely go see this one in the theater. And Keanu's just a great guy. So I feel happy in supporting him. So if you saw it, what did you guys think? And if not, I really hope you give it a shot.